Hey guys, so today's video is going to be on how I have been able to manage to get good grades while taking 6 classes, and actually I've taken 8 total between summer and now, but during this fall semester I was taking 6 all at once, which was definitely a lot for me, but I was able to get A's in all 8 classes, and I wanted to share with you guys how I was able to make that happen. What exactly to study, that's definitely an important thing. What kind of materials you're gonna need, and just like a few little helpful tips here and there that I really feel like helped boost my grades. By the way, I got my tree from Whole Foods and I think it's dying even though I'm trying to water it, but I mean he looks like he's thriving with the lights on, but he's actually dying. So first off, I wanted to talk about Glassesusa because they are sponsoring this portion of the video. Thank you guys so much. I am super loyal to Glassesusa because their stuff is just so high quality, and I use these glasses every day of my life. But these really like gave me peace of mind in that they were protecting my eyes, and every time I put them on I just felt like, all right, it's game time. Like, we got to get work done. Let's do this. And it just made me feel like I put on that persona of myself that's like super confident, badass, we're gonna get work done, you know, we're gonna get an A in this class. And then when I take them off, it's like, okay, break time, Kayleigh, let's just chill, let's go do something. Put them back on, let's go. And I also like to wear these. I actually keep these in my computer room. They're Serafina. Love these. But these I wanted to try because they're a little bit different. They're the Muse Hilary Duff glasses. They're more circular. And then lastly, I wanted to show you guys the pair that I wear out when I go out of the house, and they are a Tato. So yeah, this is what I look like when I go walk Coda. What's nice is that you can actually add any prescription to whatever pair of glasses that you guys like. I actually have perfect vision, which is nice, and I'm very thankful for that. A complete pair of glasses starts at only $30, which is definitely a good price. And they have over 6,000 different styles. Amelia E, like what I was showing you guys, Atato, designer brands like Oakley, Ray-Ban, Armani, Gucci, lots of good stuff to check out. And there's one thing I wanted to mention to you guys because I feel like it makes such a huge difference when you're shopping online, especially for glasses. It's something that I use, and they have this thing called the virtual try-on tool. And what you do is upload a photo of your face straight on, and they'll let you try on each individual pair so you can see exactly what it's gonna look like on your face. If you happen to want to return your glasses, you can within 14 days, and you will get 100% money back guarantee, no hassle, no questions asked, or you can get store credit or a product exchange. So they do have those options available. And yeah, so that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Glassesusa, for sponsoring this portion of the video. You guys should really check them out. It has been a huge help for me when I'm studying and staring at the computer screen for hours and hours of the day. Get that syllabus and download it straight to your desktop. That way you can double click on it and look at it at any time. You don't need the internet to access it, and you can just see exactly what you need for that particular class. What's really helped me is to actually have separate folders on my desktop for each class. So I'll have the syllabus in there, and then I'll have, you know, whatever assignments I happen to do throughout the class, whatever images or like notes that I take, I'll save them all into that one folder so that it's easy to find, and I'm not like trying to scramble everywhere and search for things. So definitely download the syllabus, and I also find that it's helpful to look at the syllabus throughout the class. So especially when it's time for finals and I need to know exactly what grade I need to get in order to get an A, you can look and see, okay, well, they said that the quizzes are like 40% of your grade, you know, and then the tests are 60%, the exams are 60%. So you can see what the percentages are, add up what you've already done and the grades you've already gotten, and then based on that, you can get a feel for exactly what you need for that final. And I feel like that really helps to push me to study my hardest. Even if I had already known, you know, what I needed to get, I would still try my hardest regardless. But it's just kind of nice to know in the back of your mind, like, okay, I only need a B and I'll still get an A, you know? But also it's kind of rough if you know, because one of my classes, chemistry, I had to get a 95 or above on the final, otherwise I would have a B. And that was literally the most stressful thing ever to me, because with my other classes, I knew I only needed B's to be able to get the A. But when you know you have to get an A to get an A, it's just a lot more stressful. Print out calendars. So this was the one that I used for November. It just says November up here, all the dates, and then the days up here. And it's just like tiny little boxes, just enough for me to be able to fit what I need to write in there. This is my December one. So what I do is whatever happens to be due that day, I will write it down in the little box, and I'll also highlight it if it happens to be something that's very, very important, like I need to prepare for this or to complete this type of thing, because sometimes I'll write in there, read pages 124 to 164 or something. And that's important, of course, but it's not like as important as test today. So the things that are super, super important is what I'll highlight with this. But I know a lot of people like planners. I wanna know exactly what's due in the whole month and be able to see it right there. Like I just glance at this and I can see exactly what needs to be done in this week, next week, 2 weeks from now. I don't wanna have to flip through pages to find that out, you know what I mean? So it just kind of helps me mentally prepare for what's coming and what I need to do before what's coming to just prepare myself for everything. So I have found this to be the most helpful way to write down assignments and stuff like that. Also, I am a big list maker. So for example, I had Connect assignments. I don't know if you guys have heard of Connect, but one of the, or two of the books actually were through McGraw-Hill Education Connect, which is kind of like D2L Blackboard, just like a little bit different. And I had a lot of assignments on there as well. So this was for anatomy and physiology too. And I would write lists for all the quizzes that were on that platform that I needed to take. And every time I took them, I would cross them out. So on my calendars, I have the due dates of them, but then here I have them listed so I know for sure, like it's like a double whammy. Like I crossed it out on my calendar, crossed it out on here too. It's just that extra added confirmation that I completed everything I needed to and I'm not missing anything at all. So I did that for anatomy. I was also taking human growth and development. So I had all those chapter quizzes all the way there. This was D2L anatomy and physiology quizzes, and then I had discussions that I needed to do. So if you know that, for example, you need to complete 4 homework assignments every single day, plan out time in your day specifically to do that. So if you want to go hang out with friends, family, you know, if you have errands to run, things to do, make time for the homework first. That's like most important, is make time for the homework or for the studying first. And if you have time in the rest of the day to do other things, go for it. Go have fun, go out, you know, do your thing. But you really have to time manage and realize that school really does, for me at least, comes first. Get that done. So work first, play later. That's like the motto that I've been living by. If I wait till the end of the day, for example, to do my homework and I have fun first, then I'm gonna be really tired, you know, my work is gonna be subpar, and it's just a lot harder to get through. So definitely do everything at the beginning of the day. So you definitely want to find somewhere in your apartment or your house where you can just sit and have time for yourself to study, you know, close the door. I usually just hang out with Coda and I turn all the TV off and stuff, but I do like playlists because I find that when it's too quiet, it's just kind of weird for me. Sometimes I like it to be literally nothing, just like ringing in my ear. But most of the time I like playlists, and what I will listen to is stuff that I already know. So as I'm hearing the songs, I already know the lyrics, so I'm not really like thinking about what I'm hearing. It's just kind of like in the background. But if I play a song that I haven't heard before, then I'm really listening to it. I'm like, okay, what are they saying? Like, what is this beat? You know, I'm not focusing on my homework. But if it's something that I've heard before, then I find it really calming, and it just relaxes me and gets me in like a like a whole, it just gets me on this roll, and I can just keep going. As long as the music's going, then I'm gonna keep going. When it comes to study guides, getting ready to prepare for an exam, they have the answers to all of your study guide questions. So what I will do is look up every question just to make sure for a fact that I'm getting it right if the professor didn't provide the answers for me. And I'll look at multiple Quizlet sites. I'll also look at Easy Note Cards, I think it's called, Chegg, and there's another one. There's two of them that you have to pay for like a subscription to be able to see answers to, but Quizlet is free, and then the Easy Note Cards one is free. So what I'll do is I'll look for a question on my study guide, and I will open up like 2 Quizlet sites and then maybe like an Easy Note Card site, and then maybe something else random, just to see if the answers correlate and they're all the same. Because sometimes Quizlet's wrong. People create the questions and answers on there. So sometimes when you open Quizlet and you're looking for an answer to something, it can be wrong. So you gotta be careful. What I will do is go through, like I said, multiple websites to see if they are all the same. And then I actually like to go through my book too, just to make sure that I'm getting these answers right and that I'm fully understanding the material, because you don't want to just know the question and the answer. Like, you want to know why. Why is that the answer? Because what happens usually with exams and teachers is they'll give you a study guide that is similar to the test, but when you actually take the test, it's like 70% coming from the study guide, and then 30% random questions you've never seen, or questions that are similar but like reworded differently. So for example, my anatomy class, for the tests, and they're all different, but for anatomy, he would give a study guide, 200 questions. 150 is multiple choice, so I would look them all up in my book, online, on Quizlet, figure out the answers so that I could study them and memorize them, right? Then the other 50 would be true or false questions, same thing. Now, when I went to go take the test, I understood the material, I memorized the answers, I went over the lectures just to be sure, because I didn't know if he was going to throw in questions in there I've never seen before, because a lot of professors do that. He didn't. His test was literally word for word the study guide. There was like, it ended up being 100 questions, so 100 of them weren't on the test, but I still knew them anyway, and I was prepared for whichever of those 200 questions were coming my way. And I was able to get A's on all 4 of the tests, and they were not cumulative, they were just on the certain chapters that we went over in that period of time. But my chemistry class was a lot different. It was a lot more challenging for me, because you can't just memorize answers, and you have to actually like understand the material a lot more, to the point where if there was a question that came up that I had not seen on the study guide, I would be able to answer it. So I had to really go heavily into the PowerPoint lectures and read them, understand them. I went through the book. On the things that he really focused on in the lecture, I would read in the book. So I wouldn't read like word for word what was in the book for every single chapter. It was just kind of like I would focus on things that he focused on, and I would read that, make sure I understood it. I would actually do the whole study guide. But then when it came to the test, he had like about 70% of the questions on the study guide on the test, and then 30% was things I'd never seen and questions that are reworded. So they're similar to the study guide, but different, because, for example, he would say like, what is condensation on the study guide? But then on the test, he would say, what is evaporation? So it's like they're very similar things, but actually they're completely different. So it's a completely different answer. So whenever on the study guide it would say, what is condensation? I would go through and pretend as if there were other questions on there too, like what is evaporation? What is melting? What is boiling? What is, like, all of the different types of things like that can happen with liquids and gases and solids. I would reword the question and write that down and study that, because I knew that could be a possible question. He may not answer what is condensation, or he may not ask what is condensation. He may actually ask what is evaporation. I knew it was coming. So that's one thing to do with study guides, is think of different questions that can come from that one that he asked you, like different ways that you can ask it using the different terms in the book. So another thing is, in your book, whatever is bold, you definitely want to know, you want to understand, and you want to memorize. So yeah, study guides are definitely important, but for some classes they're not all you need to know. You know, you have to, I feel like after the first test is how you know what the teacher's all about. There were also a lot of quizzes when it came to my lab classes. Luckily, each chapter was only like 10 pages, so it wasn't that much material all at once for one quiz. But what I would do is, let's see, here it is right here, my anatomy and physiology lab book. I would make little notes like all up on the sides, and as he goes through the lecture, I'm listening and making stars for things that I know are going to be on the exam, because for this teacher, he literally said it. All right, you need to know, you know, this, and I would make sure to star it so I knew. I would put these little tabs here so that I can go back to the pages that I knew were going to be important that I had to memorize. So this was a little bit harder, I'd say, for me as well, the lab classes, just because it's just so much memorization. But I think as long as you study it for maybe like 30 minutes every day, like practicing memorizing, then you'll be good to go for the final. It'll just like come naturally to you. So a lot of people make note cards. I don't make note cards. What I do is I actually just like get a piece of paper, and so I have all my answers here, and these are all labeled. I'll just cover it with a piece of paper like this, and then I will try and label them myself without looking, and then I'll slowly like unveil them as I need to see if I got it right or wrong. Just because I feel like making note cards is like a whole nother thing that just takes millions of years, and I don't have time for that. So yeah, if I ever had to do like study guide questions, I'd print out the answers, and then I would put my paper over the answers, and then one by one I'll unveil them as I'm going through the questions. So much easier than note cards. But I know some people really like note cards. It's like their way of studying, but not for me. Also with Quizlet, something that you can do is Shift F. Shift F. Guys, if you don't know about this, press Shift F and it will immediately bring up a little search box, and you can search a word, a specific word, or a few words at a time, but I usually just pick the most like unique word in a sentence, and it'll immediately bring you to the question and the answer. So if you're not trying to scroll through the page for a million hours trying to find the question and the answer, that has come in handy so much. It has saved me so much time when I'm studying, trying to like figure out answers to things. So for example, if the question was, what is condensation? I'm not gonna type in what, because that's gonna come up with 70 different results on the same page. I'm not gonna type in is, I would type in condensation, because that is probably going to come up the least amount of times, and then I'll be able to find the question the fastest. So yeah, try to find the most unique word in the sentence and search for that, and it'll immediately come up in like a second, and your answer will be right there. So I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but another thing that's very important is to figure out the key points that the professor is mentioning. So I did have one professor in my human growth and development class that she said, every time I smile, like a happy face, that means it's gonna be on the test. So I knew every time she goes, smile, happy face like this, like as she's talking in lecture and going over the PowerPoints, and I'm like, okay, so this is obviously gonna be on the test. She was so cool. She was the coolest teacher ever that I've had these past 8 classes. She was definitely my favorite. I love when the professors are really into their work and into getting the students excited about the class. Like, she was such a nice, kind-hearted person. There are other professors that, you know, you ask a question and they act like you're the stupidest person on earth for not knowing it. That was my chemistry teacher. He was awful, honestly. Yeah, a lot of teachers, they just read off the PowerPoint and they don't give any additional information, or it's just like the lecture is so boring and dry, and it's not fun, you know? I had another professor that would just play videos that other people have made. So he didn't even actually teach at all. He would just go on YouTube and play something from Crash Course for anatomy and physiology, for example, and just have the video playing. It's like a 20-minute video, and then he would go to the next one, part 2, part 3, part 4. Like, basically another professor is teaching me in this class, which was just ridiculous, but whatever, I don't care. So most of the classes, yes, I did have to self-teach myself. They were self-taught, and That's why I'm so proud of myself that I was able to get all A's, because I feel like I did it without professors for most of the classes. Yeah. It's just funny, like you can really tell what professors truly enjoy their job and then which ones truly don't. So speaking of videos, additional studying that I have liked to do was to go on YouTube, and if I have a question about something like balancing equations or the digestive system, like anything like that, I will search it on YouTube and you will find a video. You'll find hundreds of videos on that topic. And I'll just like keep drilling different videos in my head to just keep the information drilling into my head. Like I remember when I needed to know the different parts of the heart and how the blood flows through the different sides of the heart, that was very confusing for me until I was able to get a good like visual video of it. After watching the videos over and over and over again, I'm like, okay, now I totally get where the blood's flowing from the different chambers and stuff like that, the different valves. My top YouTubers that I really like to watch were Khan Academy, Amoeba Sisters, and Crash Course. So I'm gonna link them down below so you guys can search their channel if you happen to be taking any of the courses that I was taking and you need some additional help, then definitely check them out. Another thing that I found very helpful are text alerts. So you can actually sign up for this on your school website. Well, hopefully you can. I was able to, and it's so nice because when I have an assignment due, it will give me a text saying this is due in 2 days, or this is due in 1 day, this is due today. And it's just so nice to have that little reminder, because sometimes I may forget, even though I have all those lists and all those calendars. It has happened twice to me this semester where I forgot to do an assignment and I was like so upset with myself, but it was just so hard to keep all 6 classes in order and all the different assignments. Like every single day was 10 different things. So yeah, it was very nice to have the text messages too as like a third way of really like making sure that I got everything done. It was so helpful to me. Like sometimes I'd be out and then I would get a text saying, you have a quiz due tonight. I'm like, what? Wait, what? I'm like, all right guys, gotta go. So for example, if I have an exam on Friday, I'm gonna print everything out and have it prepared on Wednesday, like all the study guides, everything I need, right? And then Thursday, I'm gonna go through the study guide, find all the answers, make sure I understand the information by going through the book too, you know, go through the lectures, the PowerPoints, all that on Thursday. Thursday night, I will go through the whole study guide, all the questions, and make sure that I know every single one. And if I go through the study guide that first time and there's like 3 that I miss, then I will go through and only go back to those 3 and make sure that this time I've got them right. Then the next day, I will go through the study guide right before the exam. I'll wake up an hour before the exam, go through the study guide, and make sure I have everything right. Again, if I happen to miss something, I will go back and make sure that I got those right. And then I will take the test right after I'm done that study guide. So it's like fresh information in my head. I think that's everything, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I just wanted to do this video because even though it's literally nothing to do with anything I've ever uploaded before on this channel, it is what my life has been this past 6 months, and I've just learned so much throughout the process. I definitely lacked organization and time management for sure before getting into this. I also found it really hard figuring out exactly what was going to be on tests for a lot of these classes. Like in the beginning, a few of them I got C's on the first test because I'm just like, whoa, like where is this question coming from? Like, why did he put this on there? I've never heard him say this before. So yeah, it's just kind of like you really got to get a feel for the professors and what exactly they want you to know and where they're getting the information from. Because they're getting it from somewhere. They're not just gonna randomly, usually, ask you a question that isn't in your book, isn't in the study guide, or hasn't been in the lecture, or hasn't been on the past quizzes. Like it's gotta be something in there, one of those. So once you figure it out, then you know exactly what you need to study. And then you just gotta organize everything, make sure you do it on time, manage yourself, time management, make sure you're getting things done, and make sure you're giving yourself breaks. So yeah, and also use your resources. Quizlet is amazing. Oh, I forgot to mention also, if you happen to have anyone in your family or friends that you know that have taken any of these courses before and they have like additional notes that they can send you, that's definitely helpful. Or if they just, you know, are very familiar with that subject. Like my dad, for example, is so good at math and he's so good at chemistry. So any question that I had homework wise that I couldn't figure out, or I couldn't find on Quizlet or something, couldn't find in the book, I would ask him about it. So yeah, use your resources. But yeah, guys, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. If you want me to film any more of this that I'm going through right now, let me know, because I'm not sure. My life is now transitioning into school and then nursing. Or if you want me to keep uploading makeup and hair and fashion stuff too, I can definitely do that, because I do still love that stuff. It's just not what I've been doing for the past 6 months. But I'll be taking 2 classes and preparing for the TEAS exam this semester, so I'll definitely have a lot more time off to upload for you guys and stuff. So let me know what you'd like to see. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below. Let me know how you guys study and how you get good grades. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Oh, don't forget to check out Glassesusa down below.